What's up, family? You're now listening to Tough Tiger Talk on the PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q chiming on this exciting episode of Tough Tiger Talk. And as you guys know, right now, a lot going on the campus. The Fighting Tigers, man, a lot of good competitions and battles. And we'll have some reports coming out shortly covering a lot of stuff that's going on down at the Tiger HQ, baby. But welcome into this edition of Tough Tiger Talk. This one is called Arch Manning Headlines LSU 7-on-7 Camp. We got some footage and we'll cover some news, notes, and items. In this episode of Tough Tiger Talk, please feel free to hit the like button. Appreciate all the Tough Tiger Talk family members for hitting that subscribe button. And for those who haven't, please feel free to hit it. Also hit the like button and the share button. Put this up everywhere, whether it's LSU family members or even guys that's out there talking mess about and talking reckless about your Fighting Tigers. Let me tell you something. And I said in the previous video, a lot of people were feeling that because when that hire happened, man, a lot of people kind of glossed over it. But I'm telling you, when it's all said and done, this will be probably one of the biggest hires. And I'm talking about with Coach Brian Kelly at LSU. This was a match made in heaven. But anyway, in this episode, this one's called Arch Manning Headlines LSU 7-on-7 Camp as Tigers kick off this recruiting weekend. And man, listen, the biggest thing dealing with Arch Manning is that he wants to go somewhere where he wants to win. And this is the real meat and potatoes of it. And this is an article right here from The Athletic that covers a lot of good information by Brody Miller. And then it's off in the far corner of LSU intramural fields. They likely intended to keep the crowds away, but you can see footage of Arch Manning just throwing the ball around, making things happen for the team. And a lot of people were excited to see him out there as he's trying to, of course, pick where he wants to go. And there's all kind of rumor mill shaking, but nothing's really certain until it comes down. Everybody was aware of Arch Manning was there at LSU 7-on-7 camp, made sure to trickle over to the field and get a good look at the number one player in the 2023 recruiting class and one of the Hall of Fame name and supposed talent to back it up. Now, sophomore LSU quarterback Nussmeier made the trip over because he never seen Manning in person. The coaches from smaller schools like UL Monroe and Louisiana watched from the sideline, quote, more out of curiosity and more for fun. We're not getting him, one assistant joke. But the Newman assistant had his sleeves off, allowing Manning to display his arms that have certainly filled out in recent months. He's getting big. And look, if you watch some of the footage, he comes from that Manning lineage. And this kid is prepared. Unlike many others, he was groomed to be a quarterback. His uncles, you already know the story. His grandfather, you already know the story. You know how that works. So he's been a national name since he was 15, turning heads from day one in his long, skinny frame. But Friday looked like a 6'4", 215-pound grown-up with the frame to play in the SEC. Now, Manning dropped back. He set his feet, quickly made his reads, got him. Nussmeier narrated from the sideline, immediately seeing the players. You can see some of the footage. There's no offensive line play, so you can see he has touch on his passes. He can anticipate windows. He has his arm strength to kind of put stuff in there, and he's still a guy that's developing to get a lot better. So he sees the field really well. So everybody turned to each other and said, in some variation, I guess this kid's for real, because whenever a recruit draws the attention and clickbaity headlines that Manning does, many find themselves wondering if he's worthy of all that hype. But if you can look at it and you see like some of the 7-on-7 drills and other things that we've seen Manning doing, yeah, absolutely, man. I would say that he knows how to play the QB position, man. So, but yes, everybody was in attendance watching him. It's good to see him there as well. And some of them joke with his teammates under his big curly head of hair. He'd cheer on the teammates after an interception. His coach, Nelson Stewart, told reporters that Manning would give interviews Friday until after some recruiting things are settled. Now, as Manning took a break from lunch Friday, he could be seen talking with Nussmeier for a while. Yes, Manning was at LSU's camp Friday. A big deal for the Tigers, but no, most experts don't expect Manning to pick LSU when it's time to sign. So why is he there? They don't know what the hell they're talking about. All indications of the Tigers, head coach Brian Kelly, quarterbacks coach Joe Sloan, and LSU have done a good job of trying to play catch up with Manning. And Manning told reporters last month he likely will make a visit for a game, but the favorites are considered Georgia, Texas and Alabama. And after Alabama game, a commitment from Louisiana four-star quarterback Eli Holstein, most things ultimately come down to Texas and Georgia. Although some in the recruiting world believe Alabama has a chance to secure both in the same class. But while the recruiting world revolves around Manning, and his appearance at Baton Rouge was further proof that this is a massive month and weekend for LSU football. The Tigers have multiple key recruits in campus for visits and several others in the Baton Rouge camps. And a couple of tidbits to drop on you family members, like we talked about all of it, is that on the other enticing quarterback front, LSU has been focused on two top 100 quarterback prospects, Mr. Dante Moore out of Detroit, Michigan, Jaden Rashada from Pittsburgh, California. Rashada will announce his decision June the 18th, making him the big story of the week as the recruiting appears primarily down to LSU, Florida, and Texas A&M, and potentially Miami. It's been a difficult race to track with recruiting experts all over the place in terms of predictions. Now, recent buzz around LSU has put the Tigers, they feel like they're in good shape with Moore, a five-star prospect who had long been seen destined for Notre Dame. And the momentum is shifting away from the Irish in recent weeks, and many think that Notre Dame gained the commitment from the 2024 five-star C.J. Carr on Friday that Moore will go elsewhere. Now, Michigan, Oregon, Ohio State, and are right in the mix, but some LSU sources this weekend visits Texas A&M will be essential. Now, LSU believes that it'll be a forerunner to get Moore this summer, but if the Aggies can sway him with a big offer this weekend, it could throw a wrench in things. So things are still twisting and turning. They're still twisting and turning. So if LSU does miss on both Rashada and Moore, that's a part of what makes LSU feel comfortable this summer. The next domino to fall for the schools that miss out will likely be four-star Purdue commitment Ricky Collins, who just happens to live in Baton Rouge. Now, the optimism that is LSU as it mounts to push on Collins, they get him. So, a little backdrop on that, but Collins was a big star at LSU's camp Friday, playing out of Woodlawn High School. The 6', 290-pound quarterback looks the part, displaying a commanding presence on the field, showing off some of his style with purple visor matching his team colors. Collins had an up and down day, though he has a big arm, and there were some moments where he was able to fit the dart through tight windows, put passes where other receivers could catch it, and there were some other times he showed some footwork issues, made some poor decisions, forcing the ball in coverage. So it's a couple of things going on as well, and we'll cover this more on a breakdown show that will be released probably Sunday on more happenings at LSU for the recruiting weekend. But as of now, this report covers Arch Manning. As you can see his footage during the field, doing his thing out there on the field, making the throws. A lot of people saying that he's not a person that's interested in LSU. But listen, if I'm not interested in you, I would not be going down there tossing the football around for you. That just was I wouldn't do that. So maybe they're wrong here. And maybe a lot of people understand who Brian Kelly is and what he's doing at LSU. He knows his main focus outside of winning a national championship for LSU is beating Nick Saban. Now, if you're an LSU fighting family member, let me tell you something. That is exactly what I want. A credited coach with a consistent resume for winning year after year and having his team up in the echelon to compete for national championships year after year, that is not afraid of Nick Saban. You see what I'm saying? So, man, we're positioned to get this thing going. And let me tell you something. We have a phenomenal staff there at LSU. And outside of that, even though the schedule looks daunting, the reality is that LSU, all they have to do, which is what Brian Kelly did everywhere he went, is win, and they'll get these recruits. Simple, point blank, period. So with that being said, man, I'm going to chop out on that. Much love to the fam. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and the share button, and make Tough Tiger Talk one of your favorite LSU football platforms. I'm Big Q chiming out on this one. I appreciate you, and go Tigers.